Hello, I'm Roisin Conaty. Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Roisin Conaty, welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show. It's an absolute delight to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me and for coming to my local pub.
It's very nice.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah, there's mounted boar heads or something on the wall.
All mine.
And how's your tea?
My tea's really good. They know how I like it. Strong and tea.
And in a cup. So, you have been on the sort of comedy scene for a long time now. How did you first get into it? I know you won Best Newcomer at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, but was it something you always wanted to do?
No, I was always quite funny at school in that, subjectively obviously, but I was quite a laugher, and I think, and I like making people laugh. I did film at uni, and then I sort of was a bit lost about what I was going to do, and then I was very close to here. I was in a pizza restaurant drunk, and my friend Danielle said, you should do stand-up. And I was like, yes, I should, yes. And she put my name down, and then a couple of months when I did the gig, and it was a very haphazard sort of entry into it. It wasn't this sort of planned thing that I thought would ever... I didn't think it was a career. I thought it was a thing I liked doing, and then gradually you sort of become aware of it. It takes over your life. It's not a thing you can really take on casually. It's like an actual relationship. So there wasn't a big plan. It was very, like, I remember people talking about Edinburgh the whole time, and I thought, God, comics love Scotland. Yeah. But I didn't have much, awareness of the Edinburgh Festival or anything like that, and yeah, so...
Did you just sort of go for it? Are there courses for comedy, or how did you just start writing?
I didn't do any courses. I just showed up down to the King's Head and had 3 vodkas, and I hadn't even written anything because I thought I was so comedy blind. I thought you had to make it up. So I did stuff I remember about people who call their dogs like human names. So there's some, it wasn't very good, but the room were very kind. And I remember thinking, oh, well, I'm obviously what comedy's been waiting for. I imagine a couple of weeks and I'll, I'll be doing the big gigs. It doesn't work like that. There's a big old circuit full of really brilliant comedians. So...
You ended up on TV quite quickly, I think, on Russell Howard.
Really? About 5-6 years. That was after I won Newcomer in Edinburgh. Yeah. So I'd done the Newcomer in Edinburgh. That was my hour show. And then after that, I did TV. But now a lot of people do, there's so much more comedy on TV, so many more channels. A lot of people do those shows before they've even done their first Edinburgh. That never used to really be the way. Mm.
I think the first show I saw you in was in Practical Jokers. I loved that show. I really enjoyed it.
People still, it's the show that there's a certain age demographic.
Early 20s. Yeah.
I love it. They still, if I'm, I can be in with them, but I can tell from their age it'll be in Practical Jokers. Yeah. We had a lot of fun on that show, and, it was a good show, and I think we got out at the right time. Because it's a format that wasn't ours, and so there was a lot of pressure to keep it exactly like that format. And we're 4 individual comics who wanted to sort of put our own mark. We don't want to sort of be repeating things that already exist. But we had a lot of fun, and it was quite a hard show at times. But yeah, we're proud of it. It's funny.
So do you, obviously, I guess the first show you ever did was improv. Do you still enjoy doing that?
Yeah, I think that's improvising is. That's how I write, that's how I get my stand-up. I sort of have an idea and I write the bones of it, and then I sort of improvise my way through it on stage, and then record it, and then tidy that bit up, and then improvise my way through the next bit and tidy that bit up. And it's not the way everyone writes, but I find it a little bit... I find it quite useful to sort of see where I go with my brain. So improvising always keeps things fresh as well, I think, and it's the most fun you ever have on shows is when everyone's sort of chipping in and playing, and any of the panels when, it's quite hard when you sort of, it's quite scripted, or you're trying to be like,
I love it, a live show, if the comedian can divert from the script and just interact with, be it a heckler or just someone in the audience, and it shows great skill, I think, to be able to do that. Yeah,
I think comparing is one of the things I sort of advise newer comics coming through. I think comparing is a really good skill to have, to get used to sort of improve you being a stand-up, because you're in front of a live crowd, but you're managing the crowd. And you can get some terrible habits as well, because you can get really good at crowd work, and crowd work, you know, you need it, but you also sometimes can hide that you haven't written a new joke in a while. And we've all been there, you know, and you go like this, or the joke doesn't work, you know. But I think it is. Stand-up is fundamentally a live medium, and sometimes those moments are important. I don't like heckling. I don't like things that interrupt the show, especially our shows, like proper shows, because someone's, you know, in the middle of a bit and they're doing a thing and I'm watching a thing. I don't want to hear someone go like, "Oh, what's chicken?" You know, whatever. But the liveness of the night is what makes them, you know, why it's still an art that's not died out. Because, you know, people do that. You go, well, you're doing the same show every night. And you go, it's never the same show every night, and that's because it's live and, you know, being able to respond to what's in the room.
Yeah, so I guess you can tell stories in different ways, and, you know, sort of mix things up for yourself as well to keep it interesting.
Yeah, totally. You have to. Otherwise, you can sort of be on autopilot, especially if you're if you've been doing it for a while. You know, you reshape things and you see them differently, and yeah, so I think trying to stay in the moment is good, and playing the crowd that you're playing, the room that you're in is a good thing. But also, you know, there's a balance, because you can't. Personally, I think, you know, you shouldn't have to change a set for every crowd. You know, like sort of you should find your audience. So there's always that conversation. You know, not having to be. There's a thing that you should be able to play every room, and you go, yeah. You know, maybe some people aren't you guys, you know, and maybe you shouldn't learn to sort of, you know, dance for those sort of people.
That's it, and I think sometimes the audiences sort of catch up to you a bit as well. If, you know, if it's regional humour or topical humour, they may not get every single joke, but, you know, it's good if they're sort of learning and expanding themselves as well.
Totally, I agree, 100%. So
you were also on the first series of Taskmaster with Mr. Greg Davies.
Yes.
How was that?
It was lots of fun. It was quite stressful because we didn't know what the show was. And so, you know, when you're filming on the days on your own, I was just like, empty a bath? Is this telly? Is this going to work? You trust Alex Horne implicitly. He's immensely funny and super smart, and Andy Devonshire, the director, and Andy, the producer, was the producer from Impractical Jokers, who's a Cartwright. So the team were, you know, all really great, and so I sort of had trust. But that show, again, it's very improvised. When you do the live shows, you record all 6 over 3 days, and it's not like a script. It's not like when you do Mark or Havoc. No, there's not a script. Greg hasn't got a script, so it's just literally this live conversation for, you know. So it really keeps you on your toes. It's really, really great fun, and I think it's such a great show. I love it. I think it's so wonderful, and it's so beautifully shot, and Greg and Alex have got an amazing chemistry, and they've chosen, you know, especially now they've got more women on it, right, guys?
Balance is getting better.
Yeah, and that wasn't Greg or Alex, obviously, you know, but I think now that, you know, they've got more, it's getting more diverse, I think that makes the show even better.
Have you got a favourite task from your time there? I discovered you're very good at painting on a mechanical horse.
I thought I was really good. And they didn't give me enough love. What did I like doing the film, but my film came out quite like real, like a really sad little French sad film. But I really liked doing that because obviously I love film. But yeah, all of them were really fun, but I'm just sort of bad at them.
So was that, how long had you sort of known Greg Davies at that point?
I've known Greg since about 2003. Yeah, I've known him for years and years.
Moving on, you then went into Man Down, again with Greg, and I believe it's about to start the 4th series. It started filming in April. Yep.
That's it's out in October, I think.
It's out in October, good.
Yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes. They look really great. I think it's probably the best series so far.
So it ended on a cliffhanger last time, didn't it?
Yeah, so that storyline is really big. It's sort of very much about Greg and Izzy and Jeannie and Greg and I can't remember, Emma and what's Izzy's Mrs. whatever her name is. Yeah. These sort of love stuff, and Mike's Brian's got a real, you know, big storyline. I'm obviously just, you know, hanging out with Mickey as always. But yeah, it's good. I'm really pleased. It's come out really well.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. Now, the first series, of course, had the legendary Rik Mayall in it as well. What was he like to work with? Did you get to spend much time with him?
I didn't get to spend much time with him. I had a few chats with him, and he was so lovely and kind and generous. It was sort of my first time acting in anything that someone else had written, I suppose. And it's going to be a bit hard, and he was really supportive, and I think he thought I was funny, and well, I don't know that, but he gave the impression that, you know, he was just very supportive and really sweet and nice and really brilliant, and yeah, it was a genuinely, like, to feel like you've been on set with him was a real pleasure.
For some reason, I seem to have a pair of his pants in my house. To explain that, I went to a Bottom live show once, and he had an extra pair of pants over his outfit the whole show, and then he throws them out at the end, and I somehow managed to catch them. And I was initially quite excited.
No, I don't believe you, right?
I've genuinely got them.
No, I believe you got the pants. I don't believe you how you got them.
What,
I'm joking.
Well, this is what he said to say. It is very serious. It's the most serious thing that's ever happened. It's the only thing I've ever caught. Thankfully, I have doctors that can testify to this, and I know it's a true story. And so they were sort of flying past because he threw them into the audience, and I caught them, and I was excited because I watched Young Ones and Bottom and all that kind of thing growing up. And I was like, I've got his pants. So I was mixed emotions on those. Okay, to have his pants? I don't know, but I have them still. But they're a treasured thing. Yeah.
You know, as long as you don't wear them, I suppose.
Not fair. Just for robberies mainly. Yeah. So next I must talk to you about Comedy Blaps and what came out from that. So for anyone that doesn't know, that it was a series of commissions Channel 4 was doing it, wasn't it, where you they were developing new series, is that right?
Yeah, so that's not sort of, I got commissioned to write a script in 2010. So it's been longer than that. I wrote a script in 2010, the original sort of pilot for Gameface, and then that wasn't sort of used, and then the Blaps were like 2000 and maybe like 7. What year are we in? 2017? Oh no, 2007. That's before so like 2014. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was years after.
One of them, yeah.
And then I made the Blaps, and then they said, "Well, we're not going to put the Blaps out. We're going to give you a pilot." And they gave me a pilot. And then the pilot was also a combination of the script that I'd written in 2010 and the Blaps. And the pilot went out and it did well, but nothing happened. And then we got picked up a couple of years later, 3 years later, to do 2.5 for Gameface, which we've recorded and is going out in October the 12th.
Oh, 2 episodes as well.
Double bill.
E4.
Yeah, E4, yeah. So
9 o'clock?
I think it's 9 o'clock, yeah. So it's been a long old time.
Yeah, I remember watching the original pilot. It was really funny, and I was looking forward to more of it. And
yeah, we were really proud of the pilot, and you know, obviously it's done really well. It's sort of, you know, yeah. So we've got a new sort of, it's like a reboot from the new episode 1, because it's sort of been recast a bit, and we obviously, the time's gone by, and so it's sort of Marcella, who I play, is sort of still the same, and the storyline is still sort of fundamentally the same. But we've done it. We sort of explained it in a different way.
Okay. Because I was wondering about that, if it would continue on from the pilot, or
4 years ago.
I do actually. Yeah,
I know, but a lot of people hadn't, and that was quite hard. And you know, it's quite hard because it's almost like the Blaps and the pilot. So it's a third time doing the same story, you know. Because we had to make it a bit different, and so. It's a comedy drama, you know, and I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to feel quite real and have moments where you're like, oh, what's going to happen? But yeah, I'm proud of it, and I hope people like it. And Hulu have bought it, so it's going to be on in America.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So Hulu's a streaming service, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like Netflix and Amazon, and so be on in America in November, I think.
That's tremendous. Yeah. So it's a whole series going to go on at once. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Ooh, so
that's really exciting. So have you is it kind of a self-contained series at the moment? Have you sort of thought about how your character might progress past that series and what could occur?
I mean, I could write Gameface for decades. I've spent a lot of time with that character, you know, and it's been sat around, she's been around in a storyline, but you know, because of the history of the show, I'm not hedging my bets on anything. We'll see. If it gets another series, it would be amazing. I'd love that. And but we have to see how it does and stuff like that. So let's just see what happens, and you know, see if people like it. Hopefully,
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, you know, you hope that, but you never know. I'm such a the least sort of like, I'm like, let's just see what happens.
So expect the worst, hope for the best kind of thing. I do that with everything. Like when I'm putting my makeup on, it I might go okay if I get it near my face. That's perfect.
Well, it looks lovely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So you, in addition to this, which is coming out on the 12th of October, you were quite recently in Travel Man as well, with Richard Ayoade. You went to Berlin.
Yes.
If memory serves.
I went to Berlin. I'd never met Richard before.
Really?
No. So it was really strange because you meet someone that you're going to go on holiday with. But luckily, we had such a nice time. He's really smart and kind and interesting and interested. I think it'd be quite hard if he was sort of like, because I like a chat. And I think he's quite shy, but I think he endured me very diplomatically. We got on very well. He was very sweet and very, he was really, and Berlin was amazing. We had a really nice time. I haven't seen him since. It's weird, this anomaly. I've only seen him in Berlin. But he's just really good fun. And the crew were really nice. And, what a gig, what a life. You get to go to Berlin, and people curate where you're going, and cars show up, and then who do I spend the day with? Oh, Richard Ayoade. Fine, that's great. Yeah,
that's amazing. Is that the kind of thing you'd be interested in doing again? Kind of travel stuff? Is there anywhere, if there was a show that went anywhere in the world that you'd like to go to with any particular person?
Ooh, I mean, I'd love to do a travel show. I'd like to. I am fascinated by the world and my response to it. I think I'm always interested in that's the old two people confined in a space, kind of. But I'd like to go somewhere that I'm genuinely interested in, not just sort of collecting. I'd like to go somewhere I'm like passionate about. I'm very into country music, so Nashville would be somewhere I'd like to go. I've got food places. I love food. Food
is so good,
isn't it?
It's one of my favourite things to eat.
I sometimes look at places and I think, that looks really beautiful, and I Google about their food, and I'm like, I'm sorry guys, you need to up your ante if you want me showing up. And that's part of the best part of a holiday. Is like, where are we going to eat? And if you're like, where are we going to eat? It's just horrible. Yeah.
So really, you're not even looking for a destination. You're looking for a menu, and then once you've agreed to that, then you'll go to where the menu is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And is there anyone in particular? If you could travel anywhere with anyone, who would you go with?
I have no idea. All my lovers.
All of them?
At once. No,
wow.
I don't know. There's a few people. You know what, actually? There are people that are good for certain holidays. So that's quite an interesting thing. Like, you've got your people, if you're going somewhere where you're busy, you want someone who's good at being busy, who's good at getting up. And if you want to go somewhere to relax, you've got to bring the person who's like you, sloth-like, So it's quite interesting where you're going. You don't want to bring the wrong temperament person.
Because if you want to go to a beach, you don't want someone who gets up at 6 a.m. with a clipboard and full of activities. And likewise, you don't want to drag a tired person up a mountain.
No, you don't want to bring your sloth-like drunky mate to New York who's sort of like, oh, girl, where's the beach? But, so I think there's a good, maybe it's finding those people. Maybe that's what life is, just finding everyone for the right time. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was looking around this pub today and I thought, who shall I interview? And I'm like, oh my God, Roisin Conaty, you'd be perfect for this.
Right?
I know.
I'm so good. Yeah. So I do my Muttley laugh, which will happen in about 2 seconds.
It will. Beautiful.
So glamorous.
It is. Now, I was in the cinema once watching a David Brent movie and you popped up in it.
Yeah, I know. They didn't even know I was in it. Really? Ricky Gervais was furious.
Just in the back.
Fucking arseholes got in the film again.
And you filmed the scene once, so they had to keep it in.
Yeah. No. That was really fun. It was only a day's filming, and it was, and I was working with Ashley Maguire from Mandan as well. So it was great. It was just, and it's a very she's quite a straight, almost, kind of naturalistic, which is also my favourite stuff. So it was. I mean, it's like, it's not The Office, but it is like, it's David Brent. Come on. It was, it was like a bit magical.
Is there any sort of kind of TV or film that you'd like to work on? Just not just comedy, but anything to sort of test your acting reflexes?
Oh, I'd like to do more different types of acting, obviously, comedy acting. But I do think comedy acting is probably the hardest in a way. I think crying, listen, what do I know? But I think it's hard. But yeah, I'd like to do something straighter. I'd like to direct a bit of stuff. Not myself maybe, but like something, you know, smaller stuff. But yeah, I'm always, you know, I love film and I love, you know, drama, and I love the way things look, and I love writing, and so anything to do with the production really. I'm always, you know, fascinated. Doing editing on Gameface I found fascinating, because you go, oh my god, these people are the writers. If they can, you know, they can rewrite a scene, you know, it's incredible, you know, how important it is, and how, yeah, so.
Because you do a lot of writing, of course with Gameface you wrote that.
Yeah, I wrote that on my own, so.
Does that make it easier to learn the script?
No, because like a psychopath, I'm in every scene, and then you're just like, you don't film, you know, it doesn't film in script order. You're like, what bit are we on? You know, what happens? And I've been looking at you like, you wrote it. And there's one bit where I laughed, and I was like, did I write? Obviously, I'd written the script so tired. There's a bit where I asked my producer Charlotte, I said, and she said the line. I was like, that's not it. And I thought Charlotte's very funny. I thought Charlotte just come up with something, and I was like, that's not what. And she was like, no, that's it. Yeah, so I'd forgotten my own joke. How sad to laugh at your own gag. First son of a fool, my mum says.
I'm in trouble then.
Yeah. Right.
Problematic.
She's all right.
Oh.
How is she?
This isn't a real pub. This is all a set I've had built. The budget for this episode is ridiculous, and there's loads of extras that are just going to come and go, and all the cars in the background are CGI as well. It's a true story. So you're obviously doing a lot of TV work and stuff at the moment. Is stand-up comedy something you'd like to go back to, that you're still thinking about?
I'm a stand-up through and through, you know, so I just haven't really gigged a lot this year, but I'm going to probably tour next year. So I'm writing loads of stand-up at the moment. I'm going to do some small gigs before Christmas. But yeah, it's, you know, that's my diagnosis. I'm a stand-up, you know, like everything else I do, it's from... You don't get out of that. It's like Hotel California. Yeah. Everyone, you might take a break, or you have, you know, you get a job, but that's what. It's just but it's the thing that you have. There's something so pure about writing a bit, bringing it on stage, and getting an answer. Yeah. You know, that's just the perfect way for me.
Amazing. And who makes you laugh? Who are your comedy inspirations? Who, when you're at home after filming or whatever, who would you watch?
I mean, so many people. That's like such a big, but like lots of the British comics. So, you know, people in England at the moment, I would say Catherine Ryan, Tiff Stevenson, Sarah Pascoe, Aisling Bea, Kerry Godliman, Susie Ruffle, Lolly Adefope. Yeah, there's a lot. Greg Davies, Daniel Kitson. Nick Helm, Cardinal Burns. God, there's so many. There's like, it's just, you know, it's sort of like on any given day what you fancy watching. Like sometimes you fancy watching something like Louis or you know, Schumer. You want to watch something that's kind of real, like someone from the point of view of a person. And other times you want to watch something where it's really silly and it's like foods and just what you're into. Sometimes you're like, well, I'm not in the mood for like silly now. I want someone to be quite on it. And then sometimes like, oh, I want someone really playful. So, you know, whatever you fancy, but people who are good at what they do.
Yeah. That's a great thing about comedy too, because, you know, it can... I love...
Tim Key. Always Tim Key.
I love just watching new comedy as well, because, you know, anyone can be funny regardless of whether they're, like, selling out the O2 or it's their first ever gig, you know, and I just love that, like, the raw talent.
Totally. It's a meritocracy. Even if people recognise you because you're on TV when you come on stage, it may buy you a couple of seconds of grace of, like, oh, you know, she's not... But after that, you have to deliver. They've got to be laughing. It's not a, you know, there's nothing else. You can't blag it. You can't blag it in the way that you can blag other things.
Unless, well, I suppose you could if you had all your friends and family in the audience. And there's like, are they?
Yeah, they know when you're not being funny. Because they're like, that's not very funny. Why'd you say that? They're the ones when they're like, well, that gig was terrible.
She didn't do that.
Yeah, the worst.
Have you got any tips or advice for anyone watching this and might want to get into stand-up comedy?
I think watch as much as you can. It's great the internet wasn't sort of there when I was starting out. It was, but it wasn't as, you know, loaded. And I think watching so much and then write 5 minutes. I think try writing 3 good routines on anything if you want to do sort of straight stand-up. But watch loads and be playful and be silly and don't be afraid. You have to have bad gigs. that's the sign you're doing okay. I think people feel like if they're having bad gigs, they've chosen the wrong thing, but bad gigs maybe are a sign that you're being creative and you're actually growing, you know. So I'd say throw yourself into it, you know. If you want to do it, no one's gonna come along and go, hey, welcome to comedy. You're gonna have to go out and make the calls and be like, hey, and show up at weird gigs and be like, oh, you know, and people are like, what's your name? Or you're not on, you know, like. But yeah, if you want to do it, life's short.
It's very short. Do that thing. Now, is there anything else that you're working on that you can sort of reveal that you've sort of got in the pipeline for the rest of the year and beyond?
Nothing I could really talk. No. Gameface is my main one, so that's sort of on. So it's on in England till sort of mid-October, and then from mid-November. Starts in October till mid-November, and then in America from mid-November to Christmas. So sort of I'm doing a bit press for that, gigging. I've got a couple of things I'm writing, but obviously seeing how Gameface does really, and seeing that will sort of affect the lay of the land. Yeah.
I wish you the very best of luck. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I have been since I saw the pilot.
Oh, thank you very much, lovely. That's really kind of you. Oh,
it's exciting. It is exciting.
Nerve-wracking.
In a good way. So it's like your baby's being released into the world, sort of.
It's terror-sighted. Like I'm trying to combine the word between terrified and excited. Excitified. Half excited, half terrified. Excitified. I'm excitified.
I'm pretty excitified as well, actually, now that I come to think about it. Yeah. Yeah.
At last, someone else is excitified.
I know. I'm going to write it in my dictionary.
Thank you.
So it's just a piece of paper, but it's legitimate.
Nice.
So finally, have you got any messages for people watching the Sarah O'Connell show and your fans around the universe?
Oh, my messages are... keep watching the Sarah O'Connell show.
Good advice.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. I've got a Facebook page, so you can keep up to date on Gameface if you're interested, and gigs, and Man Down, and all the other stuff I'm into. Or you just can just not go on any of those things and just turn over and just be like, oh my God, I hate this woman. That's perfectly fine as well. Life's short, right?
But give this show a chance anyways. So it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today.
So lovely to meet you and have a lovely chat. Yeah. Even though I was a bit late and I'm very sorry.
That's okay. It's in a very nice pub.
Yeah, it's a really nice pub. Yeah. I had my birthday here.
Did you?
Got real drunk. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. I was very. In a good way. No, I just realised I sounded like I was boasting about getting drunk, and I thought dicks do that, don't they?
Safety first, people.
Yeah. Drinking means you're not thinking. No thanks.
So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thanks to everybody for watching at home. Please be sure to share, subscribe, give the video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you all again soon for another episode of the Sarah O'Connell Show. Bye.
Bye.